am the Chronicler. I am here to count the tales of the greatest adventurers in the follow us. Grand adventure through my magic and grand swordplay. In a world ravaged by monsters, ruled by tyrants, and fought over by villains, who would dare to stand up to them? Here, and I shall tell you.
Hello out there in audio land. I am the Chronicler, and I am joined today by Major General Hillman and Pharun, the Drow Ranger. Today marks an epic moment of history. We are going to be launching our first ever prelude to Chronicles of the Lost Realm. We'll be doing a little introductory quest here today to get everybody refamiliarized with the rules. And, some RP, some dungeons, and I hope you guys are ready for a good time.
Yay!
Pharun, Hillman, you guys ready?
Oh, we're always ready. Let me just pull up the character sheets. Unfortunately, you're going to see two other characters on the character sheet up front. They're not here today. So ignore those names.
They dead.
They dead. Pharun
right.
killed them in their sleep.
I don't doubt that.
He is a drow.
By saying, it's just going to be like, oh, they said they were dead. No, they're zombies.
All right, ready whenever you are, Chief.
Okay, let's roll right into this. The story opens in the small... No, I skipped the whole thing. Maybe we can edit that part. All right. Our story opens... Our story opens in a tiny lumbering village named Thunder Tree. It is nestled on the edge of the Neverwinter Wood. It is home to around 100 humans and half-elves, and its primary export is lumber, most of which goes down the Neverwinter River into the city of Neverwinter itself. It is ruled over by Ansal Bloodshoulder, a human ranger and the leader of the town, works with the lumberjacks and trappers to make sure that it's fair across the board for everybody. This also keeps the elves and the fae of Neverwinter Woods from taking reprisals against them and, killing off people that don't need to be killed. Both of you have received letters from Ansal requesting your presence in a very urgent matter. As far as you can tell, the letters that were written to you were scrawled very quickly and sent out just as fast. And the two of you approach from different directions to the main house to which Ansal resides. And you see each other coming down the path heading towards the front door.
That's silence. That means we're supposed to talk now.
I'm aware.
That's
I'm
you.
Well met.
From 2 feet above the ground, I'm looking up at you. What are you doing here?
I've received this letter to come urgently. I assume you got the same?
Oh, no. He just needs me. I can do this on my own.
All right, fine. I'll go back to Dawn's Shadow. Have a good one.
Oh, fine. You look like you could use a little adventuring. I'll allow you to join me.
What are you, an Italian grandmother? Oh, you look too skinny. Come here. You must eat. No.
I could eat.
I'm sure you could. Well, it's not good to leave the ranger waiting, shall we?
All right, let's go.
So we go in.
All right. You enter into the domicile of Ansal, and you see it's fairly lavish. There's fur bearskin rugs and other random furs that are being tanned around the room. A nice flaming hearth, keeping the house nice and toasty warm. And Ansel kind of sits at well, for lack of a better term, like a business desk covered with different scrolls, taxation amounts, and things of that nature. He looks up at you, kind of half asleep. Ah, welcome, adventurers. I'm glad that you received my letters. Please, come. Have a seat.
Stroll forward and have a seat.
Saunter forward, chest outstretched. Yes, I see you needed the bat.
Indeed. We have a great problem happening right now. Many of the lumberjacks are, they're disappearing. They enter into the woods, and they never return. We send people to go and attempt to find them, and they disappear as well. We cannot seem to figure out where they're going. There's no trace, no sign of a fight. They just vanish.
Player character knowledge a minute. Is what time of season is it?
It's the end of summer, beginning of fall.
Okay, so it's not like frost and cold and snow days yet. Okay.
No, not yet.
It was going to be one of the first things Pharun asked, but since it's not winter, it'd be stupid. It's like, well, maybe they froze to death. Yeah.
True.
That's a fair observation.
Not in June.
Well,
Many
I
rumors.
was on an expedition one time in June, and half of my party froze.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. We're in Neverwinter. The name kind of implies it itself.
Not if it's like other places I've been.
True.
Sometimes they name it the opposite.
That is true.
So he kind of assesses both of you momentarily, taking it all in, like, oh, are these two really going to be the ones that help us out?
All of a sudden, he's thinking for two more adventurers, yeah.
You're right, he's scribbling a note. Please come urgently. Underline. He kind of sits back for a moment, and he says, there are many rumors spreading around amongst the remaining lumberjacks. I'm sure that two experienced adventurers such as yourself would be able to discern from what is truth and what is not. Perhaps you should ask some of them.
Well, what have they told you?
Oh, I have heard a great many things, but I have learned long ago that the ramblings of a lumberjack are, well, best dismissed absent-mindedly. So admittedly, I have not paid attention to most of what they've said.
Oh, I'm sure there's got to be something that stuck out in your mind.
Well, there is one that's rather absurd. They had mentioned of seeing green-skinned abominations in the woods. Now, granted, that was only one person, and, well, he's not exactly the most trusted of people.
Why do you say that?
Well, he is missing a few body parts. He's a bit accident-prone and has lost his hand, his arm, his left eye, his leg, and part of his torso.
Please tell me his name is Lucky.
Oh no, his name is Patches.
Patches? Just as bad.
I'd have guessed Bob.
Well, he's still got one good leg, right? So, Eileen. Maybe Matt.
I like you, Ranger. You're funny.
Good to know, whatever you are. We haven't actually formally introduced each other, so.
True.
All right, well, I guess the best, I'll leave it to the expert hands of my partner here. But I think the best place to start would be maybe talking to this Patches, since he seems to be the one to have made an impression with his account of the situation.
You've got an astute observational skill.
It's elementary. All right, so thank you for your time. If we have anything more we need to ask, we will be back.
Very well. That sounds quite excellent.
I get up to leave and wait for Hillman to follow or lead.
Glancing around the room, seeing if anything seems out of place.
You can roll a perception check.
Ooh, I get to watch a roll. For those that want to know, we're using the app JRPG, so that way we can all see the rolls and, everybody's on the honor system.
Honorable.
And this app is mean with rolls, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Well, is it going to do anything?
There it goes.
All right.
Yes!
That's a solid roll. We don't need to announce every number, I don't think. Just 1s and 20s.
It's so mediocre.
So
it's exceptionally average.
Out of place, no. For quick glance, you kind of ascertain that the furs altogether are probably worth in the realm of 2,000 gold.
So he's not that rich. Come on, let's go.
All right, wait. Do I take notice to Hillman scoping the areas, and in turn does it spark me to want to take a look for anything unusual as we're walking out?
Well, he's just kind of, looking around as you head out, but I assume that Pharun would be doing the same thing, so you may also roll a perception check.
All right, and what bonuses does that gets from wisdom, correct?
It does. If you look on your character sheet where it says perception, I have already taken the liberty of adding everything together. So you'll just roll your d20 plus whatever number that is.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, I've got it.
So, yeah.
That's some sharp elven eyes.
Yeah, being a ranger yourself, you notice that the bearskin rug is not a normal bearskin rug. It is actually a rare dire bear.
Oh.
They are much more powerful and larger than normal bears, and it's typically very hard to bring one of them down by themselves or by yourself.
I kick the bear, toe the bear rug head with my boot, turn back to the ranger, and say to him, "Bet this one gave you some trouble."
Oh, quite. But he didn't see the pitfall coming.
Oh.
Dire bears are nothing. Why, in my second campaign, I remember a time. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll take our leave, and we will return once we have some more information.
Excellent.
All right,
so you head out into the lumbering town, and, there's probably 20 to 30 people just kind of milling about, and it does not take you...
Milling.
It's a lumber pun.
Damn, 20 to 30 people in a small lumber town. That sounds like a lumber party.
But only if they're sleeping.
So it does not take you very long at all to come across the one known as Patches. He sits on his front porch in a very rickety-looking rocking chair. doing the best he can with his nub and his good hand to whittle a stick.
We approach, and I say pointedly, "You're the one they call Patches?"
Not my choice, yeah.
All right. And forgive the pun here, but we hear there's been some trouble in the area and wanted to know what you were leaning towards. You thought that it was?
Sorry, Patches.
It's your fault, Hillman. It's your fault, Hillman. You started with the puns.
So
Nobody can resist a good pun.
So I would like for you to roll a investigation check this time.
All right, which would be what?
It is four skill names up.
It's what?
So it's 4 skills above perception.
4 skills above perception. I see percussion. Oh, perception. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, investigation. +4, and
Yes,
it's intelligence. Okay, so it's a D20. We roll.
And then you can add +4. I was going to say you can hit the +4 button in like I did if you can see my roll.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that, but it was 14 + 4, so 18.
All right, so we got an 18 and a 19. So he kind of, no pun intended, leans forward. Well, I tell you, there's a green-skinned monster. It's wandering around the wood. It's dragging the men off.
A single creature?
Aye, large it is. Large as your mother.
Well, as you can see, my mother wasn't very large.
My mother was a moon elf.
Well, then I stand corrected.
Because, I mean, if it's the size of my mother, I'm thinking kobold.
If it's the size of my mother, I'm thinking a young sapling evergreen.
I reckon to say it's 40 hands tall.
My hands or your hand?
I get the
Both
reference.
of them combined.
All right, so would you say this thing is reptilian in nature, or like a frog, or something else entirely?
Well, I didn't get a very good look at it.
Well, you should have still been able to tell if it had like scales, a tail, walked on
Was it
4 legs or
shiny?
2.
Was it shiny?
It was not shiny.
Well,
It was
that means it's not a froggy.
All right. Where was it last? When did you last see it, and where?
The last I saw it was in the Neverwinter Wood to the east.
To the east, how far in?
Less than a mile.
Less than a mile in the east.
Aye.
All right. Anybody else see this creature?
No, the fools ran.
Player character knowledge. Am I believing him?
You can roll an insight check.
Insight. I see that one. All right. D20 + 1. Hit. That's an 18,
Oh.
sir.
Yeah.
That is definitely an 18. So with insight, it doesn't necessarily detect lies, but it detects more of their intentions per se. And from what you can glean with an excellent roll like that, is he's being completely genuine. At least he thinks that he saw something out there, and it's been taking people. He's convinced of it.
Right. He believes what he's saying. Whether what he's saying is true or not, he at least believes it.
Right.
Right, okay.
Well, Patches, you think you could lead us?
I could lead you there.
All right, well, no time like the present.
Well, you
Yeah,
brought me
let's get
presents.
adventuring.
Yeah, let's get hopping. Sorry.
Oh, for Pete's sake. So he gets up, grabs his trusty wooden leg, and begins wandering off towards the wood.
No, you gotta do it. If we're gonna go with this bit, you gotta do it. Come on, walk this way.
This way, this way.
No, this way.
After you. No, I insist after you. The whole entire time he's stumping along, you have Hillman and me both laughing at each other, and every time he turns around, we just straighten up and walk normal.
Fair enough. I would like for both of you to roll survival checks, please.
Survival. Wisdom +3. Okay.
Correct. And I believe I'm going to look on.
Ooh, failed that one.
Here.
Oh, same. Look at that. I rolled a natural 1.
Ooh. That's a failure.
1 + 1 is 2.
Okay. So
Well, look, I get
Hillman
I get a +3 on survival. I rolled a total of 5. I wasted all of it questioning this guy.
I solved the mystery. Patches is the one that's Patches is the one that's taking them all.
That's it, yeah.
You guys 3 solved.
Well, Patches also rolled a 5, so we can ascertain that he is not very well. No, he's good at surviving. He's just not very good at anything else. But he rolled a 5 on his survival check. So the three of you are kind of wandering around quite aimlessly, and Patches keeps stopping every now and again, saying, "Well, maybe it was this way. Yeah, this way. No, wait, this tree doesn't look familiar. Over here." Like, he just keeps wandering around, taking you on wild goose chases.
In other words, I'm
but
leaning to Hillman. We're lost.
Right. But
I'm
luckily,
no ranger, but I know that we've been wandering in circles.
Circles. This has been a figure 8.
For just as the sun begins to set below the tree line, the bright oranges and yellows come out, and Pharun, you kind of almost stumble a little bit, but with your elven dexterity, you're able to keep your footing. But you look down to see what you stumbled through, and you notice a very large footprint.
Ooh. Hey, Hillman, take a look at this.
Somebody help me up.
I help Hillman up and bring him over to the foot. Or am I helping you up because you fell into the foot?
I would imagine rolling a natural 1, I tumbled ass over teacup into the pit.
Okay. I pick him up back out of the foot, and it's like, whew, that's a pretty big footprint.
What can you make?
I would like you all to roll.
Yay, we like to roll things.
I would like for you both to roll survival. Pharun, because this is actually a favored enemy for you, you will get to roll with advantage, which means you get to roll your d20 plus any modifiers twice and take the higher result.
Okay. Here comes my first one.
God.
How come there we go. I guess I'm going with the second one. I was about to say, okay, yeah, 20 plus 3. Yeah, come on. Anticipation's killing me.
Right. It was actually rolling.
Yeah.
So, Hillman, you don't know. You don't know.
He did.
But Pharun, you notice that this is a very larger than the ones you've seen before, troll print.
Oh, God. Oh, Maliki, help me. I look over at Hillman and just say, trolls.
I'm not really a big fan of trolls.
Yeah, it's something you and I have in common. But now
one time we were campaigning against trolls for the kingdom,
Were
I was there, standing up on my horse, leading the final charge. Oh, yeah, sorry.
And let me guess, they captured you and argued all night about how they were going to turn you into jelly, and they didn't pay attention to the sun coming up, and poof, turned it all into stone?
What madness are you talking, boy?
I don't know. I read it in a book somewhere.
We ran them through with javelins till they were dead from it.
I don't know. I read it in a book somewhere. All right, well...
You can read?
Surprisingly enough, yes. All right, so obviously Pharun's going to take a more serious stance, knowing that this is a creature he does not particularly care for, and kneel down and start investigating the footprint, seeing how old it is, which direction it's going. Try to ascertain where the creature may have gone off to and where its camp/habitat is that it's coming from. We all still there?
Yeah.
Okay. It got silent on my end, so I didn't know if I lost you guys.
Sorry.
Ray, you still with us? Chronicler.
You can't hear Ray?
I can't hear Ray at all.
Oh, yeah, I can hear him.
You can hear him, but I can't.
Yeah. Yes, that is correct.
And disadvantage is if I can't hear him, neither can the recorder.
Correct.
Yikes.
What do we do?
We will have Ray jump out of the call and come back in if you can hear me.
He can.
All right, jump out of the call and come back in. That may be the easiest way to fix this.
He's apparently trying, but it's not working.
Okay, give me 2 minutes, guys. I will try it this way. I'll try it my way.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I got life.
I'm back.
You're
Everybody's
back.
good?
Yeah, we're good. Okay, good.
The Chronicler is alive. Sorry
Yay.
about that, ladies and gentlemen. Growing pains.
That's why it's a prequel.
We are new.
Good thing this is the lost episode.
That's it.
So, all right. With your natural explorer ability, your favorite terrain is forest, and while traveling for 1 hour in your favorite terrain, you are able to, when you track creatures of your favorite enemy,
Right.
you can learn the exact numbers, sizes, and how long ago they were there. So as you are investigating this footprint, picking up the dirt, kind of letting it fall into the breeze, licking your fingertips, the usual tracking.
Right.
You have ascertained that it is one troll. It is probably in the realm of 13 to 14 feet tall.
Oh, joy.
And it is heading It is heading farther east. However, with the way its tracks are moving through the forest, it looks like it is attempting to dodge something that is straight ahead of you, further into the forest.
Obviously, as I'm tracking this, I'm relaying this to Hillman, assuming that Hillman's not as much of a tracker.
I guess that means, what's that saying? The friend of an enemy is a friend of... I can't remember. But let's find the thing that hates the trolls.
I don't know. To me, it seems more along the lines of there's always a bigger fish. If this troll has been terrorizing the lumberers and now is avoiding this creature, that may be something worse than this troll.
You make a good point.
So I think we proceed with caution, but we stay on task with the troll.
Agreed.
Patches says, I agree.
Who asked you, Patrick?
Wait a minute, you're still here? Do you have any combat experience?
Well, I mean, I got in a bar fight once.
I could tell. Didn't go well, did it?
So that's what happened to your nose.
Look, Patches, I appreciate your help, but from here on, I think it'd be best if you head back to the lodge.
Very well, then. I suppose I'll have to listen to you this time.
It's only for your own protection.
If you survive, come and find me at me home.
If you survive, we'll find you there.
It's the one with the handicap ramp, right?
Is that a joke because I'm missing a hand?
Not at all.
Missing a hand? Here, I'll give you one.
He wanders off through the woods, mumbling and grumbling, heading back towards town.
We're kind of dicks.
As you follow the footprints and kind of make your way along the tree line where the footprints are, they're staying in the trees. But you get to the edge and you can see through them. And there is a small, probably acre-sized patch that has been cleared out, and sitting not directly in the center of it, but a little bit off from center, is a small two-story home. It's got a patchwork shingle roof, a small white fence that surrounds it. The yard is very well kept, and you instantly get the smell of some kind of delicious cooking going on. There's smoke rolling out of the chimney and warm light coming from the windows, and a cobblestone path leads up to a small gate and then continues up to the front door.
Obviously, this is not something that we expected to see coming through the forest, especially tracking a troll.
No, something's amiss here.
Not necessarily when you're tracking a troll, per se. However, it's not completely unheard of that some people kind of go and try and make their way doing whatever they do.
How far away from this place are we?
At this point, you are probably 2 miles, maybe.
From the home? Or from the lodge?
From the lodge.
Oh, okay.
No, I was asking about from this home.
From the home itself, I'll say you're about an acre away. I don't know what an acre translates to in feet, but...
Same. Like, come on, man.
If we walk out of the trees, they can see us in the yard.
They would, yes.
What do you think?
It seems worth investigating. But what if this is what the troll was avoiding?
I agree. Any feelings that either of us are getting of anything amiss, anything noticeable, out of the ordinary in any way, shape, or form?
I could detect magic, but I'd have to get closer.
And as far as anything amiss or anything, I mean, it does seem kind of strange, but you're not getting like the heebie-jeebies from it or anything like that. It seems just like somebody moved out here to try and make their way in the world, and this is just where they settled down.
All right. What do you think? Should we go knock?
I think we should, because if nothing else, we can alert them to the troll's presence.
All right. Well, here's what we'll do then. You're a halfling. They'll be more welcoming to you than somebody of my background. So you do the talking.
What?
I'll just stand in the background.
Oh, come now. You're a handsome young feller.
Yeah, but most surface people still have a kind of an issue with people of my race.
What do you mean?
I'll explain it to you later. Just you do the talking.
All right, I'm on this.
And as we walk out, I pull my hood up over my head and low to kind of hide my features.
And I'm army crawling. They can't even see me through the grass.
Yeah, too bad you can't get Hillman to stop humming his own theme song.
It's only funny because I actually have been thinking of a theme song for
Yeah, I can just see him crawling through the grass, trying to be all sneaky, and he's like, kind of softly singing to himself, like, "I am the model of a Marvel general."
I'm traveling with Yoda Baggins.
Oh, the best crossover ever.
That's literally 2 lawsuits we can look forward to.
Yay! Getting sued twicey.
Screwed, are we?
You both make your way to the small cottage, and nothing crazy has happened. You make it to the little gate in the fence. It's just a very simple rope lock.
All right.
Or rope latch. So, Hillman, are you continuing to army crawl to the front door?
No, I pop up.
With the boisterous da-da-da-da!
General Hillman. What was that?
Huh?
Not sure.
Okay. So Hillman
Thing to happen.
Hillman pops up and proceeds to the front door.
I hang closer by the gate itself, allowing him to walk close, keeping an eye on him, and still within range to be able to get to him if something happens. But I'm hanging back a little bit, still keeping the fact that I'm a drow out of sight for its best of my ability.
Right, makes sense. So yeah.
Hillman knocks 3 times on the door, turns over his shoulder, and waves behind him.
Pharun just gives him one of these little half smirks with the one hand up wave, like eh.
It's always
Okay.
to make new.
You hear a woman's
Knock
voice
it on
from
the door.
inside. She says, "One moment, please. I'm not presentable."
Oh my! Oh, dust off my robes.
The door opens up, kind of
It's a lady.
opens up about an inch or two as she peeks out, and you see the partial face of a extremely beautiful woman, probably in her early 20s. She has long, flowing brown hair, and she's wearing what appears to be a man's robes, just to something she threw on real quick.
Husband. She has a husband.
Hillman bows low. Oh, forgive me, my lady. We were just curious to know if you knew that there were trolls in the vicinity.
Have you seen them?
Well, not personally, but I fell into one of its footprints.
Oh no. That does not bode well.
I know, I ruined my robes.
Well, this is the home of Ilden Carver. He was a lumberjack. He disappeared a few days ago, and I've been stuck here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, am I hearing this stuff?
Yeah, you're not too far away, and you've got the old elven ears.
All right, well, first and foremost, she was indecent before opening the door and is now talking about her husband disappeared a couple days ago. Why was she indecent?
Correct.
Obviously, right now I'm getting suspicious of her story right off the bat.
You never lounge around in the nude?
No.
Oh, must be one of those things that only us single fellers do.
There's no ring on this finger, halfling.
So she opens the door a bit farther, clenching the robe closed, and she says, it is almost nightfall. If you wish, you may come in and we can discuss what has happened, what's transpired here.
All right, but you gotta let my squire come in with me.
Squire?
Oh, of course, absolutely. Come along, Squire.
Yes, ma'am. As I walk in, I walk past Hillman and shoot him a piercing glare.
I'm just trying to help. I got you in, didn't I?
I'm going to need you to roll a ranged side eye attack.
Seriously? Dude, if I roll a natural 20, it better do damage.
It places the curse of the evil eye.
Damn, it's a 10.
So, when you both enter into the home, you notice that just about everything in here is handcrafted out of wood, and there's many little bric-a-brac here and there, you know, carvings of different animals made out of very nice, you know, the better of woods, like oak and, you know, like red ash and, you know, crazy things like that. In the
maple.
So she invites you over to the table, and on the fire there's just this large cauldron of stew going, and she says, "May I offer you some food while I tell you the tale?"
Well, I mean, I could eat.
Certainly, if it's not too much trouble.
Absolutely.
But again,
as she wanders,
as player character, again, Pharun, I'm assuming is very suspicious. Is he noticing anything at all? Again, the woman's talking about her husband disappeared a couple days ago, but yet she's lounging around naked and has a giant pot of stew on. Who's she cooking for?
I guess you'll have to find out.
That's why I'm asking.
She wanders over.
Basically, I'm saying that Pharun's like extremely intent on details now. So, is there any perception rolls or anything to catch something out of the ordinary besides his own suspicions?
Well, as she wanders over to the stew pot to grab you your bowls of stew, you may roll a perception check with advantage since you are now on your guard.
All right. Perception was wisdom.
Hillman, you can roll a disadvantage since you've been flirting.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm not that much on guard.
Instead, I'm like, oh, my dear, it's so nice of you to have considered that you might have guests who have created such a large meal.
I
Oh,
have
wait,
to
advantage. I
keep...
get to roll twice.
Yes.
I'm an idiot.
There we
That's
go.
a little better.
So she answers Hillman first. I am required to keep food at all times for Ilden for when he returns home. And Pharun, you notice as she walks over to the stew pot that there is a very thin, almost intangible, glistening chain that is attached to her ankle and goes to one of the beams of the home. It's long enough that she's able to get around, answer the door, things of that nature, but it does not look like it's long enough that she's able to leave the house.
And this is basically shackled to her ankle.
Correct.
Is it...
If I might ask, my dear, what kind of stew is this?
I'm not entirely sure. Ilden goes out hunting and brings it back. It could be deer or possibly elk.
Have we gotten our bowls yet?
Have you gotten what?
Have we gotten our bowls of stew, or am I close enough to the pot to maybe perceive what's in it?
She brings the stew over to you, and you can let's see, being a ranger, you could roll investigation or
That's what I was planning.
perception.
I was gonna stir it around with my spoon and ask to roll investigation.
Yep, you can roll either perception or investigation, either one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you do one, I do the other. Which one do you want?
I'm doing investigation.
All right, so I'll do perception because I've been so great at it thus far.
Well, once you see my roll, you'll know why I chose investigation.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Nah, my app keeps closing and reopening, so bear with me a moment here, guys.
Okay, mine was doing that too. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, mine's been doing it almost after every roll, so bear with me a moment.
Really? Mine's actually been really good. It's stayed up this whole time.
20 plus 3. Yeah, oh yeah. There we go.
So as you stir the stews and, just do what you do to try and be inconspicuous about it as best you can.
Like a little lick to the end of the spoon.
Right. So you definitely identify that there's some rabbit in there, there is some elk, and there's a few other unidentifiable meats.
But definitely something that I would know nature-wise isn't from woodland animals.
Oh, actually, he's got a point. He should be able to roll nature for that.
Right.
Oh, that's true. I do have a
That's
nature
true.
roll.
That's true. Yeah. If you want to go even deeper into it, you can roll nature, sure.
Well, before I take a bite of anything, you're damn
And
right I
with-
want to.
Right.
As he's discerning, like the spoon is traveling towards my mouth.
It's an 11. I don't think I hit that one.
So, I mean, it's meat, but you're not really sure where it came from per se. Could have been.
I'm not saying it ain't gator.
Right. Like it could be squirrel, but
See, that's the thing. I want to turn to Hillman, and I want to be like, dude, I wouldn't eat that if I were you, or at least, you know what? That's what I'll do. I'll go off of the things I do know. Like, is she distracted at the moment? Like, still working on the stew or whatever? She's not like by us, right?
no, she's not near you. She's actually pouring you a drink right this moment.
All right. I lean to Hillman and I point out the chain on her ankle.
And inconsistencies in the meat.
No,
And I still
that
say,
part out.
I do kind of say I wouldn't trust it. I don't know why, but I wouldn't trust it.
Oh, I see. That chain. That gives me an idea. I cast detect magic.
When you cast detect magic, the chain glows a bright blue, and the spell, before it even is cast, fizzles out. and you can roll an Arcana check.
Who, me or Hillman?
Hillman.
Okay.
How's that, bitches?
That'll work.
So you immediately realize that whenever you are casting the spell near this chain, the chain creates an anti-magic zone.
Ooh.
Oh, a dangerous place for me to be.
It only lasts a moment. And she kind of looks down at her chain and spins around to look at you. Which one of you cast a spell?
Really,
I don't know what
madam?
you mean.
Really, madam, do either of us look like we're capable of magic?
Oh, this is bad. This is very bad.
What's bad?
If Ilden finds out that the chain has been tampered with, he'll punish me.
Why would he punish you? Why does he have you chained?
She brings the glasses over and sits down. Ilden was once a lumberjack. He was in the town nearby. Thunder Tree, I believe it was called.
Yes.
But he grew distrustful of Ansel and wanted to start a competition business. And he made many of these wondrous things. He sold them in Neverwinter as toys. And that is what initially drew me to him. He seemed so friendly, so carefree, and he loved the nature. But after I began to live here, he started to become so angry, and it was like he was going mad. And one day he awoke, and he was so adamant that I was going to leave him that he placed this chain around my ankle and keeps me trapped within this house. The only way to remove the chain is with the key that he has around his neck.
Well, where can I find him? I'll help you.
Do you want to leave him?
I would love nothing more than to escape this madman.
How thick is the post that is tied around?
It's probably about, well, it's support bearing, but probably 5 feet by 5 feet.
Not good enough for my short swords to chop through.
Yeah.
It might take you a couple days, but
I was thinking if I could snap it real quick and just pull the chain up over, you know. But that's not going to work. Well, where was he last seen?
he went into the woods a few days ago looking for his favorite mushrooms, and he never returned. He went towards the east, which both of you instantly recognize as the direction of the Troll Prince.
Wait, he's a prince?
Prince.
Oh, Troll Prince. I was like, oh, wait, I should have said it like this.
Oh.
Wait, he's a prince?
He is now. And
Come
that's
along,
how
let's find this Troll Prince.
and that's how D&D campaigns evolve.
That's it. All right. Well, we will see if we could find your husband and get this key back so we could free you. We were heading in that direction, tracking that troll anyway, so it seems that both are going to tie in together at the end anyway.
If you are truly serious and you are going to save me, then please take these with you. And she goes over to a small foot locker by the end of the bed, opens it up, and she says, Ilden deserves what he gets from you two. And she produces a glimmering short sword.
Ooh.
And not a staff, like a rod. It's probably about a foot long or so, with a gem that is solidified into the top of it.
Okay, Hillman, dare I ask that you want the rod?
I'm taking that rod.
Okay.
I have no need for a short sword.
All right, obviously I take the short sword. I just figured there was a comedy moment of him trying to grab the short sword and give me the rod.
Beat the death with it.
What, I can just see Pharun sitting there like, I can see Pharun sitting there like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Honestly, had it been like a broadsword, I would have done that. Because, like, I need it to be super comical.
A hand-and-a-half bastard sword.
Yeah, like, just dragging it behind me through the dirt. So it's like this trail where the sword falls.
You just see these, like any tracker behind him, like days later, they see these little tiny footprint and this one little ditch off to the side.
Oh, Jesus. So
That's exactly it.
the short sword is a +1 short sword, which means that you will get an additional +1 to your attack bonus, an additional +1 to your damage bonus.
All right, so it is a short sword.
Yeah.
+1. All right, I put that on the character sheet. However, on the character sheet, you have me with sword +6s.
Yep. So this particular short sword will be +7.
Oh, so it's a +6 sword. Okay.
Well, you see, your attack bonus is your dexterity modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Oh, okay.
Which is a +2.
Okay, that's where I was confused. Okay.
Yep. I added it all together in that one block for you, so you wouldn't have to do a bunch of math before the math.
Thank goodness.
Well, I'll just change that to 7 then. This back to a +6 on the character sheet, just so I know. I equipped the so the second normal short sword is now just in my inventory.
Right.
Okay, that's why I wanted to know, so that way I could put it on the character sheet properly.
And Hillman, that rod. Whenever you cast the spell of the, I forget what that is. We'll just do it this way. Your spell save DCs increase to 16.
Got it.
As long as you cast a spell using the rod as your spell focus.
Well, you know it's going to be.
Right.
I didn't ask how big the room was. I said cast fireball through the rod.
Which reminds me.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to cast firebolt on that beam. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Strike that. Reverse
better get out of here before the house burns down.
I'll save you.
All right, so thank you very much for your gracious gifts, my lady, and we will return as soon as we can. And with that,
good luck to you, brave adventurers.
And with that, Pharun gets up and automatically starts going for the door.
And my dear, if you're ever looking for a well-adjusted husband, don't forget me. As I walk out the door.
Jesus, you're a dirty old man, aren't you?
No, I had a bath last week.
All right, then we'll give this a couple seconds here so that you can divide this into a separate. I don't have a way to see how long the conversation has been going.
59 minutes, but we'll go with it.
Okay, no, that's perfect because we can stop the first one right there.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right, so guys, stay tuned for part 2.
Yes, yeah. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll continue on through and see what these adventurers get into next.
And more Hillman!
On Realm of the Mist.